The Saints got great news from the National Football League, so today we're going to break down what that news is, and I'm going to give you a little hint. It has to do with the 2026 NFL Draft, but it's still good news nonetheless, and it's the latest around the black and gold. So today on Saints Now, I'm going to dive into full detail in how this impacts New Orleans moving forward, but today's poll question, I want to get y'all's opinion. Grade the New Orleans Saints 2025 offseason so far. You've had the first wave of free agency, an entire new coaching staff, and then the 2025 NFL Draft. We got your UDFA class. What do you guys think so far? A, B, C, D, or F? Get down in the comment section. It is the pinned comment, so I can't wait to hear from you. Now, the NFL has awarded teams with 2026 compensatory picks. For what it's worth, these are projections. These don't have to do with any coaching changes. These don't have to do with other players that you may lose later on in free agency, but right now these are the awarded comp picks for the New Orleans Saints and for all of the other 31 teams in the NFL. And really quickly, just in case you didn't know what a compensatory selection is, this is what exactly the definition is. To qualify for compensatory picks, teams must end up with more qualifying free agents lost than gained in a particular year. Compensatory picks are not divided up equally among the teams, and no team can receive more than 4 comp picks in a single year. So for the New Orleans Saints, the comp pick comes from Paulson Adebo because he did sign in free agency with the New York Giants. The Saints did add some players in free agency. They were actually at risk of potentially losing one of their comp picks in the 2025 NFL Draft. If they signed another player, they didn't. They end up with Fadil Diggs. That all being said, they get 1 comp pick. Maybe you get a couple more, maybe some pop up here in the future, but as of right now, you have 1 extra comp pick, and we're just going to get you informed on what all of the selections that were awarded to the teams. Again, these are projections. So the Steelers get a handful, the Eagles get a bunch, the Jets get 2, Dolphins and the Saints just get 1. Pretty much every other team got multiple except for us in Miami. However, you also got a handful of 7th rounders handed out to the Colts, Chiefs, Lions, Rams, Bears, and Broncos as well. So that is all of the comp picks that have been awarded thus far through this portion of next year's numbers and stuff and whatnot. But talking about numbers, by the numbers, the New Orleans Saints right now have 7 selections in the 2026 NFL Draft. You have 5 in the top 50. So you have 1 in round 1, 1 in round 2, 1 in round 3, and 2 in round 4. That is 5 picks in the top 150. You traded away a 7th round pick in 2026 to get Devon Godshaw. I don't think that was a bad move. It's a 2026 first or 7th round pick, so it's not like you lost it last year. I don't mind it. I think it's okay, but you still have prime opportunities to add a lot of good talent, owning a 5th and a 6th round pick in 2026. And to be totally honest, when you look back on this past draft and how the thing all panned out for New Orleans, I'm really actually happy with how it turned out in regards to not trading away future assets. Sure, some of the picks, some of the players, you guys might have wanted to be different. I understand that. But in terms of building for the future, they're doing the right things. You didn't trade away any future assets. You didn't trade away any great players. And, this is a rebuild that's going to take multiple years. You're not going to get it done this offseason. Next offseason, you're going to get more holes patched and you're going to get more of the team put back together and the team built around what Kellen Moore wants it to look like. But as of right now, I think they're doing the right things. But the big thing that they have to do moving forward is you have to hit on your draft picks. If you don't hit on your draft picks, it doesn't matter. This whole operation doesn't matter. So you have to start nailing those draft picks, especially the early ones that you're investing high draft capital in. So do you think that the Saints had a good draft? I just want to hear from you. Just yes or no. All in all 9 selections. I thought day 1 was good. Day 2, a little rocky. Day 3, they absolutely crushed. I think they ended up having a good draft. And if you need a reminder, here is how the Saints draft class panned out. You took Kelvin Banks, the offensive lineman, who does have versatility to possibly play on the inside as well. In round 1, number 9 overall. At 40 overall, you took Tyler Shuck. Shador Sanders was on the board, but you opt to go with the Louisville quarterback. Vernon Broughton, a really nice run-stopping defensive tackle in round 3. Jonas Sanker as well in the 3rd round. Danny Stutzman was a 4th-round selection. Quincy Riley and Devin Neal, I thought were really good picks. I love the value of that Devin Neal pick, by the way. Maliki Matavao, the tight end out of UCLA, he was a 7th-round pick. And Fadil Diggs out of Syracuse, for what it's worth, he was a comp pick this past year. And Look, I said it already. The Saints need to start hitting on those draft picks. And you do have the opportunity on past draft classes to start hitting on those still. I mean, we still need to see if Kendre Miller can stay healthy for a whole season. We still need to see Isaiah Foskey put it all together and get on the field and put some production on game day. We need to see whether or not Jordan Howden is capable of being a starting safety. We need to see if Brian Brzee can not just be a great pass rushing defensive tackle, but can he just be a great all-around interior defensive lineman? There's still a lot of picks that we need to learn about. Kool-Aid McKinstry, Spencer Rattler, just to name a couple of more. I want to see the Saints start hitting on those picks. And to be totally honest, I wouldn't mind being a little bit less active in free agency. Like, I don't think it's a bad idea. I think if you're smart with your spending in free agency, not only do you clear up the cap space, but you also can allow players to leave in free agency that you don't necessarily need on the roster and you don't need to pay a lot of money to, and you can get awarded comp selections. I mean, I look at the Ravens, for example, who they don't do a lot in free agency. They always have a lot of draft picks. They're a team who regularly gets awarded a lot of draft picks. I mean, this year alone, they were rewarded how many? 3, 4? I mean, 3, 2 in the 5th and 1 in the 7th. So I would like to see the Saints stop spending so much money in free agency, start investing more in the draft, and start hitting on those draft picks. Because although hitting in free agency is always nice and being big spenders is great, you got to clear up the cap space. You got to figure all that out. So that way you can have the pieces together and go and get the luxury pieces you need to succeed in the season in free agency. Now, the latest comp selections for the New Orleans Saints, Fadil Diggs, he was a 7th-round comp pick this past year. Kool-Aid McKinstry, for what it's worth, the Saints actually traded multiple picks, but the 168th pick in round 5, that was a comp pick awarded to the Saints. They used that to trade up to go and get Kool-Aid McKinstry in round 2 last year. Bub Means, he was a comp pick as well, and so was Jalen Ford, the wide receiver out of Pitt, and the linebacker who out of Texas. We haven't seen a ton from Bub Means. He suffered an injury mid-season, but I will say this. When he was on the field, I really was excited about him. He has a nice size profile. He fits the size profile with what the Saints actually need, and he has a very similar size to Michael Thomas, and I think you could utilize him similarly over the middle as an X receiver. So maybe Bub Means is taking a big step in year 2 and he's healthy, and that's why the Saints didn't prioritize getting a wide receiver this year. But Jalen Ford, jury's still out on him. We haven't seen a ton from him. He suffered an injury last year, but I do think that the linebacker out of Texas does have some things to offer, especially with this new defense led by Brandon Staley. But did you know, I know we all understand that Marcus Colston was a big-time steal back in 2006, but did you know that that was actually a compensatory selection? I personally didn't. I knew he was a 7th-round pick. I didn't realize it was a comp pick. The more you know. I thought that was actually pretty interesting, and there's actually a really long history of great notorious comp picks in the National Football League, but just the top 5 probably ever. Tom Brady, Dak Prescott, Mike Vrabel, Hines Ward, Brian Dawkins, all of these guys, absolute legends for their respective teams. Dak Prescott, maybe not as much, but still a good football player who's made a lot of money. So regardless, I think that the comp pick for Dallas has worked out because they have their franchise quarterback. And look, I think that there's a lesson within this video that we can all use. I mean, all good businesses, they think ahead. They're not thinking about right now. They're planning for the future while still operating in present day. And good sports organizations do the same thing. Good sports teams and good quality, well-ran organizations, not just in football, but across all sports, they're thinking about the future. They're thinking about how can I get to success and sustain that success. The Saints need to start doing that. The Saints need to stop operating for right now, and they need to stop operating for success in the future because that's just where we're at. The Saints, for what it's worth, in my opinion, have been doing that this offseason. You still made a couple of good signings in Justin Reed. You made a good, and Isaac Yiadom I thought was actually an underrated signing. You brought back Brandon Cooks. You traded for Devon Gottschalk. You're plugging in holes and being competitive, but you're not losing out on the opportunities to potentially compete in the future. Till you didn't trade away any future assets. You're being conscious with the spending this year for the first time, and it feels like forever. So the Saints need to continue to do that. Be smart and think about the future because we all know this year you're not winning the Super Bowl. But maybe in 3, 4, or 5 years, we could start having that conversation once again. So name one player that I should keep my eye out for on the 2026 NFL Draft. For what it's worth, I don't think Arch Manning is going to go to the draft next year. I think he's going to do one more year with the Texas Longhorns, but I just want to hear from you because coming up, I'm actually got a 2026 way too early mock draft. I said, F it, why not? Might as well do one, have a little bit of fun. Finish off draft season with a mock draft looking into next year. And honestly, a really fun exercise, Lopez, would be revisiting this mock draft like when it comes to mock draft season next year, see kind of how different it is, see where things shake up. But coming up, we're going to get into my 2026 mock draft, a couple LSU players. Be sure to stick around. But first, you guys got to get some new jerseys. We have jerseys available, any shape, any size, black, white, color rush. You want the throwbacks. You want a current player. You want one of the new rookies. We got you covered. Chatsports.com/Saints jerseys. They even have former players' jerseys on sale. So if you still want to get a jersey for a former player, feel free. And it's your last chance to get Derek Carr jerseys. Might as well. Just kidding. Get yourself a Rashid Shaheed or a Chris Olave jersey. Or hell, maybe even a Tyler Shuck. Could be the quarterback of the future. I know my jersey's next. My next jersey, goodness gracious. My next jersey purchase is going to be Danny Stutzman, the rookie linebacker out of Oklahoma. All right, let's talk about my, by the way, the link is in the comments and description for chatsports.com/Saints jerseys. My bad. I totally forgot to tell you guys that. It's in the comments and description, but here's my mock draft. We went with Peter Woods, the edge rusher out of Clemson at number 5 overall. For what it's worth, I don't know exactly how PFF is listing the draft order, but the Saints picked 5th in this. They did have the comp pick awarded as well. We went Garrett Nussmeier in round 2. That's a steal. I know a lot of people are going to be like, he's going round 1. He's going to be top 3. Blah, blah, blah. Cool. He was available in round 2. That's awesome. We also got Whit Weeks. Love that. Dog. Dog. Dude, pairing up Whit Weeks and Danny Stutzman Lopez, going to be a lot of fun. We also went Jermaine Bernard, the wide receiver out of Alabama, Joshua Braun, the guard out of Arkansas, Woo Pig Sui, and RJ Maryland, the SMU tight end. PFF graded it an A. I think it's also an A. And also, it's way too early. I don't know what the draftings are going to be. I don't know what we're going to do with free agency. I don't even know who's going to be the quarterback next year. But hey, we're just having a little bit of fun. And I actually posted this on my social media first. So if you want to see a lot more Saints content before I take it to YouTube, hit your boy up on social media. X, Instagram, and TikTok. I'm active on all 3 platforms. The links to all of those accounts are in the comments and description of this video as well. Or you could just search my username. I'm always posting. Or search Trizzy Trace. Your boy is always posting about the New Orleans Saints. Alrighty, guys, that's going to do it for us today. We do have a live show coming up later this afternoon, so be sure to subscribe, turn on your notifications about 4 o'clock Central Time, so we will see you there. Who Dat Nation, y'all stay golden, and we'll see you next time.